anything, but I mean, I'm not. I'm in. I'm not. I want to be really proud of what I show somebody. And I, on the other hand, say, I want to co-develop this with you, uh, and I want to show it to you earlier. And the earliest that I can get anything done would be sometime on Thursday.
Okay.
So it's not. I think that I'll have enough that you can say, Charlie and Hio, or mainly Hio, because I'm going to be in on travel. Here are the changes you need to work on, or the edits you need to make. So when you get back uh, from from Panama on the Monday the 9th, uh, we'll have more done, so that what you're looking at on Monday the 9th in the next week or so can be rapidly turned into a provisional patent application.
Oh, okay. The process and time frame makes sense to me.
That sounds insane, but it's reasonably insane.
It's not unusual in my experience.
Okay.
Just when I think provisional patent applications broadly, I think kind of a month or so from start to finish. So that's about what we're talking about here.
So if we could meet with you or show you something, and I prefer to meet with you, and we can drive out there uh, with whatever we've got, and show you everything we've got, and then you give us marching orders of things for Hio to do, well, because he's not coming back here for 17, 18 days, but he can work on it while I'm gone,
Yep.
and I can edit. But I want to have a meeting with you on Thursday, more midday, to give us marching orders.
Okay, that's fine. I have a meeting already scheduled for 2 p.m. in which I'll have to leave the office about 1 p.m.
Yeah.
So could we? But I'm free before then. So as long as we can meet and plan to be done by 1 p.m.
Well, what I would in that case, I would plan that we would leave here 9:30 and get there 10:30.
Yeah.
And then that would give us some time to dig into it and put the fire under us to get something done tomorrow, in spite of the fact that I've got a lot of other work to do tomorrow. But let's get it done.
You're probably used to juggling 40 balls, so I'm sure you'll get it done. Yeah, that would work very well for me. About 10:30, so plus or minus, and I'm flexible. This Thursday would be wonderful. And if you could share the document before then, at least so I have a few minutes to scan it. If you finish something and feel comfortable with sharing it before Thursday at 10:30, feel free to email it to me.
Well, we will definitely do that, and we'll share it with you, maybe in Google Drive or something like that. But in the meantime, between now and then, I'm going to be meeting Hio about 4 or 5 this afternoon, and we'll have until 9 o'clock on Thursday to send you something, and probably that's when we would send it to you before we came out. Tell me, I'm going to write notes here. Tell me 5 things that you'd like me to think about incorporating in what we show you to make it the most useful to you.
Well, I would start with a 1-paragraph executive summary of the invention.
Okay.
So I presume at the end of the day, the invention is some type of process or method. That's how I think of it. And that seems most likely to me. So thinking about it in those terms, you've got a method to achieve some result or results. and this executive summary should, at a high level, describe the steps and the results.
Okay.
And I may not even get to 5. So that's a starting point. And then from there, I think that the executive summary becomes an outline of the patent application. And the second step is to add detail of each step that is sufficient in sum to allow another person to read this document and be able to go away and replicate your method.
I think that's very reasonable and even understandable, because we've been spending time now documenting the sort of the executive summary and the steps. Part of the way we've done it is that there's one part to describe the way you would build the structure, and describe not only the structure, a little bit of the functions of it, and some of the network and interconnections, but the process step is how you would use it after you can see what it is. And those steps, we want to show how our methodology is taking breakthrough knowledge, sort of step 1, slicing and dicing it and curating it in step 2, displaying it in step 3, training for it in over 6 months or some period of time in step 4, and then using a database to manage the whole thing in step 5. So there's a 3-dimensional structure, and there's a 5-step process.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. So I think we're on the same page in terms of the approach. And if you can achieve that by this Thursday at 9 a.m., I think we'll be in good shape.
We accept this mission impossible.
Okay. Do you know where I am?
I do. I've already Google mapped you.
Okay. You're coming from Cambridge, I imagine.
And I'm planning to come out the route, I guess it's 95 or the Mass Turnpike.
Yeah, 90, the Pike. Yep. It's easy to get to. Obviously, with today's technology, it'll be very straightforward. But just to give you a reference, my office is on Route 9, just a little bit west of 495.
Yeah, I know where you are, and I found it, and I've read some of your IP Dingman, and that you've got a technology guy there, and you've got how many people do you have on your team?
Well, I have in total 5.
That's a lot, and it's
plenty.
It's plenty.
It's as much as I want, to be honest.
Our strategy is the fewer the people, the better, and the better the people, the fewer.
Right, I agree.
So
I think I have that. So
I think you have that, and Brian, I make quick judgments. I've already tried out one patent attorney whom I didn't like. I've been working with Boston University and a guy named Marshall Van Alstyne, who wrote The Platform Revolution. He recommended LegalZoom. That has been very helpful to us.
Sure, it is.
But I want to work with Andy Moore, because he's right in the building of the same building that we started with in 1981.
Oh.
And the company that I've kept going all this time is he's at 84 Sherman, and the other building's at 90 Sherman. Maybe you visited him there.
Probably have. Yes.
Well,
I've been working with Andy since the, I don't even know, 93, 94. So I followed him wherever he's been.
Brian, give me a little of your story, just a couple minutes, and the things that you are most proud of.
Okay, well, really I have to say what I'm most proud of is my children, because they're doing very well. And I don't want to bore you with lots of family stories, but they both live in the Bay Area, and I'm going to be seeing them in a couple of weeks, so it's on my mind.
How old are you, and how old are they?
Well, I'm 62, and they are both in their late 20s.
And my children are in their mid-50s, and my grandchildren are 23 to 15.
Nice. Well, congratulations. So anyway, besides that, let's see if I give you a thumbnail sketch. Well, okay, I've been practicing as a patent attorney for a little over 30 years, coming up on 32. Before that, I worked actually as an engineer. My undergraduate degree is in chemical engineering. But I kind of quickly after undergrad, while I was working, went to law school to become a patent attorney. And what I love about the work is the both the challenge and the interest in learning an awful lot about what is typically kind of narrow slices of inventions that are all over the map in terms of what they cover. So I'm very much kind of a generalist in terms of my patent work, but I think I have a good approach that allows me to do quality work together with clients to achieve their objectives. And with 30 years under my belt, I think I've figured out a good way not only to work with clients, but also to work patent applications through the patent office.
Well,
So that's it. That's my story.
The story's great. Let's do it. My father was a chemical engineer with DuPont.
Oh.
And I lived in Wilmington and drove by the experimental station all the time.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm not an engineer. I'm an architect. But we'll. Is this do you have a cell phone?
Yes, I do.
Let me take that just in case.
Sure. It's 978 460 1191.
And I guess I have your email, right?
I don't know.
Well, give it to me now, just to make sure.
It's pretty easy. Brian, BRIAN.
Yeah.
At DingmanIPlaw.com.
Yeah, I have that. And do you know Tom Dingman?
No, I know of him, but he is not. I don't know him. He's not a relative.
I do know him. He lives near me. He was dean of Harvard, and but I just had to ask.
Yeah, I've had that question many times over the years. I wish I did know him, but I don't.
Well, you know the answer.
Yeah.
Well, when you come to the house, we'll have him over so you can meet your doppelganger.
I will. Okay, so then, Charlie, I'm planning on seeing you two on Thursday.
About 10:30.
And I very much look forward to it.
And I love the name. Your name is Brian because with a little change in the name, you can make it a brain. And I'm sure that's
I get that an awful lot. As a matter of fact, when I type my own name, about half the times it comes out brain.
Well,
I'm not the world's greatest typist, so I see